A few months ago, I talked to an agency owner who just lost a client after almost 2 years. They were a good client, steady hours, no complaints about the caregiver. When he finally got the family on the phone to ask what happened, the answer had nothing to do with care quality. The daughter said she'd called twice about a billing question, left a voicemail, and never heard back. By the time someone called her back 4 days later, she'd already signed with a different agency. And that's not a rare story. In fact, it's one of the most common ways home care agencies lose clients. And most owners don't see it coming because the caregiving itself was fine. The relationship broke down somewhere else entirely. I'm Jeff Amon, Chief Revenue Officer at ClearDesk. In this video, I want to walk through why clients actually leave a home care agency, what a customer service VA does to prevent exactly the situation I just described, and what to look for if you're thinking about adding this role. Now, let's get into why clients actually leave a home care agency. Here's something worth sitting with. When agencies do exit interviews or ask families why they left, the caregiving itself is rarely the reason. It's almost always something around it. It's the phone call that didn't get returned same day. It's the billing question that sat for a week because nobody owned it. It's the feeling, and this is the one that comes up constantly, that the family had to be the one chasing the agency instead of the agency staying ahead of them. None of that is a caregiver problem. It's a responsiveness problem. And responsiveness is almost entirely a function of whether someone is actually watching the phone in the inbox consistently every single day, not just when the owner has a free hour. Let's now dive into what a customer service VA actually does. So let's get specific about what this role actually covers. A customer service VA handles 5 things day to day. First, inbound calls and messages from clients and families, being the consistent voice on the other end every time and not just when the front office happens to be free. Second, following up on open questions until they're actually resolved instead of trusting that someone else will circle back. Third, tracking recurring concerns. If the same family calls twice in a week, that needs to reach the owner before it becomes a pattern, not after. Fourth, supporting intake calls for prospective clients so a new referral doesn't go cold waiting for a callback. And fifth, helping coordinate communication between families and caregivers when something needs to be relayed both ways. Put simply, this role exists so that no family ever has the experience that daughter had. Someone answers, someone follows up, nothing sits and gets forgotten. Now let's talk about why response time is the biggest lever on retention. If I had to point to one variable that predicts whether a family stays or leaves, it's response time, more than almost anything else. Here's why. A family with a loved one in home care is usually already anxious about something, a schedule change, a health concern. When they reach out, they're not just asking a question, they're testing whether this agency is paying attention. A same-day response says yes, a 4-day silence says no, and it says it loudly even if the eventual answer is perfectly reasonable. This compounds the same way owner-level admin work compounds, which I talked about in the Executive Assistant VA video. If there's no one whose job it is to own the inbox and the phone, response time drifts a little at a time until it's normal for messages to sit for days. Nobody decided that on purpose. It just happens by default when responsiveness isn't anyone's actual job. How this is different from a scheduling VA. I want to draw a clear line here because these roles get blurred together. A scheduling VA is focused on operations, coordinating caregiver shifts, filling gaps, managing the logistics inside a platform like WellSky. That work is essential, and we've covered it in other videos on this channel. A customer service VA is focused on the relationship. Their job isn't to build the schedule, it's to be the responsive point of contact. In a lot of agencies, one person gets asked to do both, and the result is predictable. Whichever task is more urgent in the moment wins, and the other one slips. Response time to families is exactly the kind of thing that slips when it's someone's second priority instead of their first. Now, what to look for before you hire. If you're considering this role, here's what actually matters when you're evaluating someone. First, genuine warmth and patience under pressure. Families calling a home care agency are often calling during a stressful moment. The tone on the other end of that call matters as much as the information given. Second, clear professional communication. This person represents your agency's voice to every family who calls. That has to be consistent and easy to understand every time. And third, judgment about escalation. A customer service VA doesn't need to solve every problem alone. They need to know exactly which issues need to reach the owner immediately and which ones they can resolve on their own. Ask a candidate how they'd handle a family who calls upset about a missed visit. Their answer tells you whether they understand where that line is. Now let's go over how ClearDesk vets and matches a customer service VA. This is exactly why we don't treat a customer service placement like a generic support hire. We evaluate technical fit first, communication skills, and any home care or healthcare adjacent experience. That shows this person already understands the tone families need. Then we evaluate behavioral fit through DISC profiling. So the VA's temperament actually matches how your agency wants to be represented. Calm, warm, and responsive, not just fast. Every candidate we place has been through our 6-stage talent assurance protocol, language testing, skills assessment, behavioral interviewing, background verification, and environment auditing, which is how we maintain a 0.5% acceptance rate across candidates. For a client-facing role like this one, that vetting is the difference between a voice that reassures a family member and one that makes things worse. So after all of this, let me pull this together. Clients rarely leave a home care agency over the quality of care. They leave because a call didn't get returned, a question sat too long, or they felt like they had to chase the agency. A customer service VA exists to make sure that never happens. Someone whose only job is to answer, follow up, and stay ahead of every concern before it becomes a reason to leave. And if you want to talk through what this would look like for your agency, book a call with ClearDesk. Thanks for watching. If you haven't seen it yet, check out our video on the executive assistant VA role. It covers the other side of this. Protecting your own time as the owner. Link is in the description.